What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to the Wolves Liverpool post-match reaction and analysis video, and we will talk about how Jurgen Klopp with tactical tweaks won this game, and also huge credit to the Liverpool players because they were so tired, so exhausted in the first half. I mean, Alexis McAllister, Darwin Núñez and Alisson had to travel halfway across the world from South American qualifiers, which they played Wednesday morning in the early hours. McAllister played in Bolivia at very high 3,600 meter altitude. And no wonder he looked knackered, he misplaced the pass and then he got a bogus yellow card. Let me know what did you think of the game, and also what do you think about Jurgen Klopp's tactical changes. First half was one of the worst halves I've ever seen Liverpool play under Jurgen Klopp, and we had some shocking performances last season, but this was very worryingly reminiscent of last season's defensively shambolic display. But I think it was down to completely new look defense. Kwanzaa made his full debut. This was his first start for Liverpool, and he's just a 20-year-old young centre-back, and he actually did pretty alright. But Matip was all over the place, Joe Gomez was all over the place at right back. Joe Gomez looked really solid in the previous two games. In this game he didn't look really solid, especially in the first half. And Robertson made a marking mistake before the Wolves goal. I mean, the way that the Wolves player Pedro Neto just drove at our defense time and time again, and he skipped past players with ease. It was horrifying to watch. Sorry that this video is one day late, but I was on a short trip with my friends and we just arrived back home. I just arrived back home, but I watched the game, the extended highlights, not the full game. I didn't have time to watch the full game yet, but I will probably watch the full game to analyze it tomorrow. But I think Jurgen Klopp made some really brilliant tactical changes. For one, he brought off Alexis McAllister at halftime, Luis Diaz came on, and Szoboszlai revealed exactly what Jurgen Klopp told his players at halftime. Szoboszlai said the key was that we didn't give up. At halftime, the manager talked to us about the passion we need in the second half and the work we have to put into the game. We switched formation, everybody did their job, and we turned the game around. And Szoboszlai was asked to play as a very attacking number 6, a defensive midfielder with some attacking impetus as well. If I have to play there, Szoboszlai said, then I'm playing there. I have to concentrate and focus a little more on the defensive way, but still I was up there trying to help the team, trying to shoot. That didn't happen, but next time everybody would be happier, even happier, if we are not 1-0 down. But if we like to win like this, then let's continue, but let's win at the end always. And that's the bottom line, no matter how. But Liverpool keep grinding out victories, and that's the mark of a great team. But it's always better to learn from your mistakes when you win, because if you drop points and you lose or draw, like Manchester United have done yesterday, I was absolutely thrilled that Man United lost to Brighton, and I don't know today's results yet, so I'm not commenting on today's games. I will watch the highlights later. But I think Jurgen Klopp was also got a little bit lucky because he wanted to substitute Cody Gakpo, but before the referee could stop the game, Cody Gakpo scored a goal and then he got substituted straight away. Mo Salah gave 2 assists, and now he surpassed even Thierry Henry, I think, in the assist charts of the all-time Premier League history, which is absolutely crazy. And Andy Robertson, with a captain's performance, scored a brilliant goal to win the game. And then Harvey Elliott, I think it should have been Harvey's goal, but it was given as an own goal. But Harvey Elliott was instrumental in the third Liverpool goal. And at the end, I was so hard celebrating in my hotel room where we stayed. I watched the extended highlights yesterday evening. I just couldn't make a video on this game earlier because I was on the road, but with my friends. But I was so happy because after the first half horror show, and even in the highlights, it was almost all Wolves chances. Liverpool had their first really good chance at the end of the first half. That shows how bad we were in the first half, going forward and defensively as well. And we got lucky that Wolves didn't finish off their chances, because they could have been 3-0 up at halftime. Cunha missed an absolute sitter where he misses the ball, and then Mo Salah gets 2 assists in the second half. Darwin Núñez could have scored, he came on as well, and Alexis McAllister could hardly run in the first half, and he was just physically and mentally tired. He misplaced passes, he just wasn't at the races, but no surprise, because to schedule a game at lunchtime kickoff when Liverpool had 3 South American players playing football halfway across the world shows how negligent TNT Sports is, formerly of BT Sport. I absolutely hate that company because they always screw Liverpool over with the scheduling, and don't tell me it's not intentional, because it is. The Premier League is full of corruption and biases against Liverpool, and that's really frustrating and annoying. The decision was to bring Luis Diaz on, and also we played kind of 4-4-2 formation in the second half with Salah and Diaz up front, and in the midfield there was Szoboszlai, Curtis Jones, Salah and Gakpo, and then later of course Darwin Núñez came on. So yeah, in the end I think we ended up with Luis Diaz and Darwin Núñez up front, and Salah on the wing with Curtis Jones and Dominik Szoboszlai in the double defensive midfield role. In the first half, Liverpool just played 30 passes into the final third. In the second half, it was 49, and Szoboszlai was at the heart of it. Also, Darwin Núñez's introduction added another dimension to Liverpool's attack. He really rejuvenated and regalvanized the Liverpool attack. Diaz and Núñez adds so much energy, so much momentum, so much pace into the attack, and so much unpredictability and chaos. Darwin Núñez is Mr. Chaos. He is the chaos merchant. The defenders are never settled. They are never calm when Darwin Núñez is driving at them, running at them with or without the ball. He's an absolute nuisance. I love that about him. And Robertson also in the second half put in an absolute shift, and he even went forward and got the goal. I was so surprised that Robertson basically scored from a striker's position after Salah's brilliant pass, and he slots it past the keeper like a seasoned finisher. That's Robertson's first and only goal of the season ticked off, because he doesn't score many. But it's great that there are goals coming from everywhere in this team. Gakpo got another goal, which is really good for his confidence. But then, Robertson and Harvey Elliott scoring, or at least Harvey Elliott forcing an own goal, is really welcome, because Robertson is a defender, Harvey Elliott is playing as a midfielder, and in the previous game Szoboszlai, another midfielder, scored. So it's always good when Liverpool are sharing the goals around. And of course, Liverpool without key defensive players. we didn't play Endo in midfield because he also played twice for Japan in friendlies, in friendlies, and he was really tired after the international break. But still, Liverpool don't have an out-and-out number 6, an out-and-out defensive midfielder. Hopefully that we play in the Europa League on Thursday. Hopefully we can have a little bit of rest until then. We have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, so 4 rest days, and hopefully the Liverpool players can rest and recover, because now with the European competition starting, with the Europa League games, it will be a relentless schedule up until the next international break, with 2 games every week. And Jurgen Klopp's tactical acumen and ability to adapt to the game, and the squad's ability to adapt to the game, was on full display against Wolverhampton. But Liverpool's resilience is very important, that we just are never beaten. And Mo Salah reaches another Premier League goal involvement milestone. He reached 62 assists in the Premier League in total, with 139 Premier League goals as well. So Salah's 201 combined goal involvement makes him just the 8th player to achieve at least 200 goal involvements in the Premier League era. So he is a Premier League top 10 icon, an absolute legend of Liverpool and an absolute legend of the Premier League as well. He recorded 201 goal involvements in just 223 games, which means that in almost every game either he scores or gets an assist. Absolutely amazing. He is the second fastest to reach this landmark after Thierry Henry reached 200 goal involvements in just 206 games. But Thierry Henry is one of the best, if not the best, Premier League player of all time. Salah also extended his current goal involvement streak, having notched either a goal or an assist in each of his last 11 Premier League games. That run includes 5 goals and 9 assists. Absolutely brilliant by Salah. And Jurgen Klopp said that in the first half a lot of Liverpool players looked exhausted, looked tired. McAllister didn't have the legs today and other players didn't have the legs. But if you can get through the first half with a reasonable scoreline, you can turn it around in the second half. The team needed help, Jurgen Klopp said. Thankfully, we could deliver that help. And obviously completely different halves. It looked much easier in the second half. We played a really good second half, controlled the game, kept going and won the game in the end. And Kwanzaa did really well, Jurgen Klopp said. It was a really good, nice, wonderful experience for him. He came on always in a very decisive moments. He didn't come on to close the game or whatever, but previously he came on in decisive moments when we were down with 10 men. And now, with such a disorganized team like we were in the first half, being the one who kind of looks like kind of an alright player is a statement, absolutely. Actually, Matip and Gomez looked much worse than Kwanzaa. Even though Kwanzaa is a rookie, Matip and Gomez should be the leaders in this team, and yet they looked like an absolute bunch of kids out there against men in the first half against Wolves. So really happy for Kwanzaa. He looks pretty happy in the moment as well, a good boy. And Szoboszlai had a massive influence on our game. First half he lost balls and stuff, but many players lost balls, and then in the second half we played Curtis and Sobo on a double six, which is a very offensive double six, but they did really well, they did really smart, both of them, and so he turned it into a really good game. And Salah is unbelievable, he's involved in everything and he was always there when we need him, like everybody. He really stacked up in the second half. Really good. And yes, it's true, Liverpool are not a stable team yet. Jurgen Klopp even admitted that. But we learned pretty quick. I think with all the changes we made now and again for this game, how can we be stable? And it's true, Joe Gomez had to play at right back, kind of a new position for him. Matip and Kwanzaa, a brand new centre-back partnership, and also a brand new defense. Also brand new midfield with Szoboszlai and McAllister in the midfield. Curtis Jones, of course. For the majority of last season, Curtis Jones also didn't start for Liverpool, so you could kind of call this a brand new midfield as well. Turning games around is helpful whenever it happens. That we should not come that often in this situation is clear as well. But for today, it's absolutely alright. You have to play as good as we can, and we just couldn't play better in the first half for some reasons. Second half, when you have really tough weeks, when players come back, then I hope it's not always the case, but sometimes it can happen. First half, they did it a little bit to shake the legs off, and we have to work on that so it doesn't happen more often, because after the next international break, we play Everton. But the reaction from the players was top class. And Robertson played one of his best games for Liverpool for his 200th game in the Premier League for Liverpool. And Curtis Jones also marked his 100th game for Liverpool, 100th Premier League game, or 100th game in total. For Curtis Jones, he also marked it with a victory. And obviously, Robertson would never have been in the position when he scored the goal in the first half. There was no chance. But we became more flexible, and that's very important in football. Robertson could bomb on more in the second half, and we got what we deserved from the second half, Robertson said. We obviously weren't at the races in the first half, but in the second half we changed the formation slightly with the 4-4-2 kind of, and it worked. We started pushing people a lot higher up the pitch, and that's the thing. If Liverpool can stay in the game, Liverpool have so much firepower up front that the defense can be bailed out, and I think that will be the story of the majority of the season. That Liverpool are always likely to concede at least one goal, but if we can score 2, 3, 4 goals in almost every game, then great, we can win those games. But sooner or later it will catch up with Liverpool that we are conceding so easily and so many goals and so many times. But for the time being, at least, Liverpool are in second place, joint second place on points with a few other teams, but Man City started with 5 wins out of 5. I really hope and prayed that West Ham take points off Man City, but they just couldn't. Man City were just relentless and they turned the game around. Similarly to Liverpool as well, by the way, but Man City were even more dominant than Liverpool were in the second half. Anyway, that's it for my review for the game. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. See you later, guys. Goodbye.